Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the English news from Djibouti channel. Here are the headlines. Company of electricity in Djibouti prepared for the exploitations of renewable energy sources. On continental news, the longest eclipse of moon of 21st century this Friday night. Welcome, dear viewers. Let's now get to the detail. The President of the Republic, Ismail Omar Guelleh, sent on Thursday a message of condolence to the Prime Minister of Ethiopia, Mr. Abiy Ahmed Ali, whose country today deplored the death of one of the most illustration executive in the occurrence, engineer Senigo Bekele, the director of the Dam of the Renaissance. In his message, the President of the Republic expressed his sadness and deep emotions and expressed his solidarity and compassion to the Prime Minister and the friendly people of Ethiopia in the terrible ordeal of the loss of the chief of one of the largest economic and social projects in Ethiopia today. I am all the more affected by the disappearance of the late Bekele, as I knew him personally, wrote the President Guelleh, who described the late Ethiopian public official as a brave patriot, a highly competent executive and highly educated intellectual, makes the priority of its people and those of the region. There is no doubt that with the disappearance of the talented Ethiopian engineer, our region lost a very valuable element that works tirelessly of the economic integrations of our region, say the head of state of Djibouti, before reiterating his sadness condolence to Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed Ali and the Ethiopian brother people. Djibouti Electricity prepares for the commissions of national is in phase with the project of exploitation of the wind energy of Gubet and the geothermal energy. In this context, that ATD yesterday signed an agreement with Shanghai Electric Chinese company for the constructions of a 74.3 kilometer transmission line planned for the transport of 230 kilowatts. The agreement in question was signed yesterday by Djibouti Chief Executive Officer Jam Ali Guelleh and the Shanghai President Power Transmissions and Distributions Group Shawa. The agreement worth $56 million was initiated by the Secretary General of the Minister of Energy and the one hand of the Vice President of Shanghai Power Transmission and Distributions Group. On the other hand, the durations of the work is scheduled for 60 months and must precede the completions the wind energy project to be put into services in time. In a speech delivered at the ceremony, the Chief Executive Officer of RTD Ali Guelleh said that the choice of Shanghai Power Transport and Distributions Group as a partner in this important project stems from the experience of this company in our country since it has built the electrical part of the railway line, which is now operational. He added that the Shanghai Power Transmission and Distribution Group is helping to finance the project itself in the form of a loan of $30 million. The President of the Shanghai Power Transport and Distributions Group, Mr. Shao, highlighted the good and fruitful experience he shared with the Djiboutian electricity under the direction of Mr. Jam Ali Guelleh.
很高兴能够代表上海电气参加今天这样一个签约仪式。
Thanks, Ms. Jama, and thanks all of you. I'm very glad to participate in this signing ceremony. As Mr. Jama mentioned, from 2014 we started our cooperation for the project. During this period, not only we have a very good relationship for the friendship, and also we have to implementation the project very well. Today's sign ceremony, it means that we have a further and more deeply cooperation. We shall work together to arrange more better team and give more efforts to give to show a more better performance. During these years when we work here, we also see that Djibouti developed very fast, and we also hope that in the coming future, in the power and the grid area, we can have more further discussion and more further cooperation. The power marketing in African and also Djibouti is our important strategy of our Shanghai Electric. During these years, through by our cooperation and communication, both of us we developed. I trust this project will be more better than the previous. I have enough confidence to say that in the coming future we will have the fourth one, we will have the fifth one.
Thank you.
The People Palace hosted a closing ceremony yesterday morning of the advanced training on improving hospitality, orientations and communication in hospitals. The closing ceremony was attended by the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saleh Benoite Dawood, the Secretary General of the Minister of Labor in charge of administrative reform, Mr. Abdullah Ali Mohammed, and SICRA Executive Secretary, Mr. Mohammed Awale. Also noteworthy was the participation of the Director of INA, Mr. Sharmarke Idris, as well as many health executives who attended the sessions which closed this 5-day training held at INAB. In fact, some 30 health professionals from different hospitals structure took advantage for this training of capitalize their skills on social communications and to appropriate knowledge about best practice in terms of reception and support of user. The objective of this training is part of the reform launched in 2016 to improve the performance and efficiency of the public services that's in perfect harmony with the Charter on the Declarations of Services to Citizens. In his speech, the health manager of the training department, Mahmoud Ahmed, said that beneficiaries of this training will capitalize on the achievements. The executive secretary in charge of the administrative reform, Mr. Mohammed Awale, welcomed the successes of the training work of this foundation, which allowed to deepen the knowledge and to find together durable solutions to the problematic related to the reception in the structure of care. Finally, the Secretary General of the Ministry of Health, Dr. Saleh Benoite Dawood, reminded that the Ministry of Health promotes the value of humanized that are written in the slogan of proximities. Dr. Saleh Benoite also called for the continuations of the partnership with INAM and SICRA, which reinforce the efficiency and effectiveness of the joint commitment and which shares the synergy to achieve the shared objectives. As part of the communication on the regional projects of RTD accompanied by the owners, the representative of RCR as well as his team, it returned to Obah after the tours in the localities of Holhol, Al-Adde. They were greeted warmly in their respective offices by the Obah local authorities, namely the Obah prefect and the regional council president. Following a very fruitful discussion with the local authorities, the delegation led by the director of the agency, Mr. Mahdi Mohammed Jama, met with the civil society in the region council of Obah. Were present at this meeting beside the local authorities, the host population, as well as the various representatives of Yemeni refugees who are in the Merkazi camp. The RTD has reformed the host community and the refugees on the progress of the various components of the project, on progress of work, renovations of and extensions, the health health post Ali Adde and Hol, and also the reception of medical equipment provided of this health structure, as well as the complementation of the work of sting up electrical network, less voltage and low voltage has Hol and continuity the works on of electric Obach, but also delivery within 3 months on the hot and cold equipment for Obach and Ali Sabih Technical High School. We were saddened by the death of Jama, who died on the night of July 24 in Cairo, where he was taken for treatment. The late Jama was born in 1945 at Ali Sabih. The deceased leaves behind him 2 wives and 9 children and 23 grandson and daughter. His friend and colleagues of Arthur region address their sincere condolences to the family of the deceased. And now let's move to on the international scene. Clash erupted as Palestinians declare victory over Israel in crisis over holy sites. For more detail, let's follow in this report.
Palestinians declare a hard-won victory Tuesday against what they saw as an attempt by Israel to limit access at their holy city, the Al-Aqsa Mosque compound. Israeli state metal detector at the gate to sensitive Ukraine after 3 Israeli Arab gunmen killed 2 Israeli police officials. They are July 14. Now, near 2 weeks later, the detector and other extra security devices are being dismantled. Jerusalem's Grand Mufti Muhammad Hussein, a spiritual leader and custodian of the mosque, urged Muslims on Tuesday to return to their Queen for worship, declaring the crisis over.
A blood moon will appear in the night sky around much of the world on Friday night as the moon moves into the shadow of the earth, the longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century.
The moon will appear in the night sky around much of the world on Friday night as the moon moves into shadow of the earth for the longest lunar eclipse of the 21st century. The total eclipse will last 1 hour 42 minutes and 57 seconds, though a partial eclipse precedes and follows, meaning the moon will spend a total of 3 hours and 54 minutes in the earth's emperor shadow, according to the NASA. The eclipse will be visible from Europe, Africa, and the Middle East between sunset and midnight on July 27, and then between midnight and sunrise on July 28 in much of Asia and Australia. When the moon moves into the conical shaped shadow of the earth, it goes from being illuminated by the sun to being dark. Some light, though, will still reach the moon because it is spanned by the Earth's atmosphere.
Here we arrive at the end of this English news. Thank you for watching us. Have a good night.